Most people play life like amateurs, reacting, guessing, obeying rules they never questioned. But the truth is brutal. Life isn't fair, it's rigged. The system rewards players who understand human nature, power, and leverage, not the ones who simply work the hardest. You've been taught to be good, to play nice, to wait your turn. Meanwhile, the players who broke the rules now write them. They understand that emotions, money, attention, all of it are currencies in a game designed to be exploited, not endured. The elite don't move with luck, they move with code. They see life as a chessboard, not a battlefield. Every move is calculated, every loss is a lesson, every win is multiplied. If you keep playing by their rules, you'll always lose. But once you see through the illusion, you realize you were never meant to follow, you were meant to hack. Welcome to the game. Learn the code. Rewrite your destiny. Subscribe to join the Guru Clan, where we expose the strategies the world doesn't want you to learn. Comment, "I'm awake" if you're done being a pawn. The game just started. 1. Rules were made to trap you. Learn the hidden code. Every rule you've ever been taught was written to benefit someone else. From childhood, you were trained to obey, not to think. Be polite, follow instructions, wait your turn. These weren't lessons in morality. They were conditioning for control. Society built invisible fences around your potential and called them rules. The truth? The most powerful people on earth don't follow the same rules you do. They designed them. They teach you to go to school, get a job, pay taxes, and die quietly while they play a completely different game behind the curtain. You're told to save money while they print it. You're told to work hard while they own the means of production. You're told to be humble while they broadcast their dominance. The hidden code of life isn't written in textbooks. It's written in behavior. Power flows to those who understand how to manipulate incentives, control perception, and bend emotion. Every institution, from politics to religion, survives by your belief in its rules. The moment you stop believing, you become dangerous. That's why rebels, creators, and strategists rise, because they stopped asking for permission. They study the game instead of serving it. If you want to hack life, stop playing by the surface rules. Don't just ask what you're told to do. Ask who benefits when you obey. That one question exposes the entire system. Machiavelli said it best. The one who breaks the rules first wins the game. So break them intelligently. Learn the code behind every command. The more you understand the system, the less it owns you. Because life doesn't reward obedience, it rewards awareness. 2. Play for power, not approval. Most people live like actors, performing for applause that never lasts. Every decision they make is filtered through one question. Will they like me? They chase validation like it's currency, never realizing that approval is the cheapest form of control. This is how the game keeps you tame. Society doesn't need chains when it can enslave you with opinions. They teach you to crave acceptance because approval keeps you predictable. You'll never take risks, never speak truth, never rise above mediocrity, because you fear exile from the herd. But the men who win this game, they stopped playing for applause. They play for power. The ability to act freely without needing permission. Power isn't arrogance, it's autonomy. It's when your self-worth no longer depends on external validation. Look at the greats, the conquerors, thinkers, innovators. They were hated before they were celebrated. Machiavelli himself was exiled for telling truths too raw for his time. Every visionary gets crucified first, worshipped later. The paradox of power is this: the less you care about being liked, the more respect you command. People sense when you're not seeking approval. It unsettles them. Your detachment becomes magnetic because it signals internal strength. Approval seekers orbit around the self-assured like planets around the sun. Playing for power means mastering self-validation. You move based on your logic, not their applause. You trust your vision over their noise. You make peace with misunderstanding. Because true power comes from stillness in the storm, the confidence to stay unmoved while others chase trends. Stop performing for spectators who haven't built anything. Their approval won't pay your bills or fulfill your purpose. Detach from their cheers and their judgment alike. They're both distractions. When you stop needing the world to clap, you finally hear your own drumbeat. That rhythm, your conviction, is the sound of freedom. And in a world of puppets, the man who moves for himself becomes the puppeteer. 3. Trade time for leverage. Stop selling hours. If you trade your time for money, you've already lost the game. Because time is the one currency you can't replenish. And yet, it's the first thing the system teaches you to sell. They call it a career, but it's really a contract, your hours for their comfort. Every day you wake up to an alarm that isn't yours, grind for goals that aren't yours, and die slowly for a paycheck that only keeps you dependent. That's not success, that's slavery with benefits. The rich and powerful figured out something the masses never will. Leverage beats labor. They don't work harder, they build structures that work for them. While you're clocking in, they're collecting dividends, royalties, and residuals. They've detached money from time. You see, the poor earn linearly, 1 hour, $1. The rich earn exponentially, one idea, infinite dollars. That's why most people never escape mediocrity. They mistake effort for progress. They believe in hustle culture, not realizing that endless work is a new religion of the obedient. But no matter how hard you run on a treadmill, you stay in the same place. Leverage changes the equation. When you build systems, skills, and influence, you create time freedom. A YouTube channel, an automated business, a course, a piece of art. These are engines that earn while you sleep. You're no longer paid for presence. You're paid for impact. Think like a king, not a laborer. Kings don't chase wages. They own structures that generate them. They use other people's time, talents, and tools to multiply their reach. It's not exploitation, it's architecture. Leverage is the hidden code of the game. It's what separates the busy from the free. Here's the hard truth. If your income stops the moment you stop working, you don't have wealth, you have dependency. And dependency is the modern form of control. Building leverage isn't glamorous. It demands delayed gratification. The discipline to build something today that pays off years later. But that's the difference between players and pawns. Pawns thinking paychecks, players thinking pipelines. Leverage lets you detach from the illusion of security. Because real security isn't a job, it's control over your time. So stop selling the one thing you'll never get back. Your time is sacred. Trade it only for leverage, not for crumbs. In this game called life, laborers obey rules. Architects rewrite them. 4. Emotion is currency. Spend it wisely. Emotion is the most valuable and most exploited currency in the world. It drives markets, relationships, politics, and even your own destruction. The system doesn't need to control your body if it can hijack your feelings. Because once someone owns your emotions, they own your actions. Think about it. Entire industries exist to manipulate how you feel. Advertising plays on your insecurity. News feeds on your fear. Social media rewards your outrage. Every notification, every algorithm, it's all designed to extract emotional attention. And attention in this game is profit. That's why the calm are dangerous. Because a man who controls his emotions can't be controlled by the system. He becomes unpredictable, untriggerable, uncheckable, and therefore powerful. The weak waste emotional energy on reaction. They get offended, addicted, and manipulated. The strong invest emotional energy into strategy. They know when to show warmth, when to withdraw, and when to strike. Emotion isn't suppressed, it's channeled. You don't win by feeling less. You win by feeling with purpose. Because emotion is energy, and energy, when directed, builds empires. Look at the greats. Athletes, leaders, creators, they all learned how to transmute emotion into drive. Pain becomes motivation. Anger becomes focus. Loneliness becomes evolution. Meanwhile, the average man leaks emotion like a cracked pipe, losing focus through gossip, arguments, drama, and envy. He's emotionally bankrupt before the day even begins. You must learn to spend emotion like money. Ask yourself before reacting, what am I buying with this feeling? Will it buy me power, clarity, progress, or will it buy me weakness and regret? Anger at the wrong person costs opportunities. Fear costs momentum. Lust costs discipline. Guilt costs time. But control buys freedom. When you learn to sit in your emotions without letting them dictate your behavior, you become rare, and in this world, rarity is wealth. The Stoics called it apatheia, not apathy, but mastery, the ability to remain centered while the world burns around you. That's how you outplay emotional puppeteers who thrive on chaos. Because here's the truth most never realize. He who reacts first loses. The one who stays still longest commands the board. If you want to rise, learn to treat your emotional energy like gold. Protect it from energy thieves, those who trigger you for attention. Invest it into creation, the work, the body, the mission, and watch how quickly you outgrow everyone who's still chasing emotional validation. Emotion is currency. The broke spend it on impulse. The rich invest it in intention. So the next time something tries to pull you off balance, breathe, observe, and smile. You just spotted the trap. Play the long game. Because in a world that runs on manipulation, emotional control is the ultimate form of wealth. 5. Weaponize scarcity. Become unrepeatable. Scarcity is power. Not money, not fame, not status. Scarcity. The rarest man in any environment controls it. Because people don't chase what's common. They chase what they can't easily replace. Most men today are replicas, mass-produced personalities chasing the same validation. Same clothes, same slang, same opinions. They scroll, copy, and conform until their energy becomes indistinguishable from background noise. That's why no one values them. Scarcity makes you magnetic because it triggers something primal, fear of loss. When you're rare, people fight for access. They think twice before disrespecting you. Your time becomes sacred, your attention priceless. You don't chase energy, you dictate it. But here's the paradox. To become rare, you must first become unavailable. Stop showing up everywhere. Stop sharing everything. Every great man in history cultivated mystery, because mystery breeds curiosity, and curiosity breeds obsession. Athletes, leaders, artists, they understand this instinctively. They don't reveal every move. They speak less but say more. They disappear, then return evolved. And every reappearance feels like a revelation. Scarcity multiplies value through contrast. The more noise around you, the more silence becomes gold. The more common weakness becomes, the more strength feels divine. That's why detachment is dangerous. The man who doesn't need constant validation becomes impossible to manipulate. While others beg to be seen, he makes the world wonder where he went. And when he finally appears, the room shifts. You must train people to experience your absence. Let them feel what life is like without your energy, your presence, your contribution. It's not arrogance, it's economics. Everything abundant loses perceived value. Everything scarce multiplies in worth. Look at your time, your words, your emotions. Are you spending them recklessly or investing them strategically? Every time you give something freely, without purpose, you devalue it. Every time you withhold something until it matters, you amplify its impact. This is why overexposure kills greatness. When you're always available, you stop being exciting. Familiarity breeds indifference, and indifference kills attraction, respect, and awe. Be unpredictable. Disappear to evolve. Reappear with proof. Your growth in silence should shock them. That's how legends are built, in absence, not presence. A lion doesn't roar all day. He roars once, and the jungle remembers. To weaponize scarcity, you must become a man of cycles. Retreat, rebuild, return. Don't announce your moves. Let your results speak. Make people earn your access. Make them qualify for your time. And never explain why you walked away. The mystery will do the work for you. When you become scarce, your presence becomes a privilege. And privileges are protected, not taken for granted. The world is drowning in abundance of words, faces, noise, and neediness. Be the man who stands apart. Be the silence that commands attention. Be the absence that lingers longer than their distraction. Scarcity isn't selfishness, it's strategy. Because in this game of life, the rare are revered. And when you become unrepeatable, you no longer have to compete. You just exist, and the world adjusts around you. 6. Manipulate perception. Control the scoreboard. The world doesn't reward truth, it rewards perception. Reality is just a suggestion. Perception is the scoreboard. You can be brilliant, disciplined, and powerful. But if no one perceives it, it doesn't exist. The system isn't built on merit. It's built on illusion. Those who master image rule those who cling to facts. Look at history's most powerful men, kings, generals, CEOs, revolutionaries. Their strength wasn't just in what they did, but in how they appeared to do it. Because appearance creates belief, and belief shapes behavior. Every empire is built on narrative, not logic. religion, politics, branding, leadership, all powered by the control of perception. If people believe you're great, you become great. Not because of delusion, but because belief amplifies reality. That's why athletes trash talk. That's why leaders speak in absolutes. That's why you feel small next to confidence, even if that confidence is manufactured. Because certainty manipulates perception. You can either be the man reacting to the scoreboard, or the one secretly controlling it. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge more by the eyes than by the hands," meaning it's not what you do that defines you, but how it's seen. You can lose battles and still look untouchable. You can fail quietly and appear to be thriving. And that perception of strength keeps enemies cautious and followers loyal. The weak think honesty means exposure. The powerful know honesty must be edited. Your job isn't to lie, it's to curate truth. Because full transparency kills mystery, and mystery sustains influence. People don't need to see everything. They need to believe enough to stay invested. Control your narrative. Every man is a brand, whether he knows it or not. The question is, are you managing yours or letting others define it for you? When people look at you, they should feel something specific. Power, discipline, purpose, edge. That's your scoreboard. That's what wins the game. Don't explain your silence, let it look strategic. Don't announce your plans, let them appear inevitable. When you move, move with intent. When you speak, speak with gravity. Because in a world of constant noise, clarity looks divine. Understand, most people aren't watching to understand. They're watching to judge. So feed them what strengthens your myth, not what satisfies their curiosity. Every word, every image, every reaction, it's all data for how they'll treat you. You're either writing your legend or editing someone else's version of it. Ask yourself, what do people think I am? What story does my energy tell before I speak? What impression does my absence create? Perception hacking begins with control. Control your posture. Control your tone. Control what you give attention to. Even indifference is a display of dominance when used correctly. Here's the secret. Perception always precedes reality. When enough people believe in your identity, the world starts to conform to it. That's why kings wear crowns, not because gold gives authority, but because belief does. Don't wait to be recognized. Build your myth deliberately. Walk as if you're already the man the world will one day call inevitable. And remember, when you control perception, you control emotion. When you control emotion, you control behavior. When you control behavior, you control outcomes. The scoreboard is an illusion, so design it. Because in the game of life, the one who defines what winning means is the only one who never loses. 7. Fail fast, win forever. Make risk your engine. Failure is not your enemy. Stagnation is. The weak avoid pain. The powerful study it. Most men move like cowards in disguise, hiding behind planning, perfection, and excuses. They say they're waiting for the right moment, but that moment never comes, because the game doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards iterations. The truth? You're not supposed to get it right the first time. You're supposed to get it wrong faster than anyone else. Every failure contains a hidden blueprint. Every loss is a data point. Every rejection is refinement. But you only discover those lessons by moving, not by overthinking. Look at any empire, athlete, or innovator. Their success wasn't linear. It was built on a mountain of mistakes they refused to stop climbing. They didn't fear failure, they weaponized it. The difference between the average and the elite is not luck, intelligence, or talent. It's velocity. Winners compress cycles. They test, fail, and adjust so fast that the world can't keep up. While the average man waits for confidence, the elite man builds it through collisions with reality. Understand this. Failure is feedback. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not a verdict, it's a mirror. And if you learn to read that mirror without emotion, you'll evolve faster than anyone around you. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors the bold," but he left out the rest. Fortune destroys the passive. Because the universe doesn't reward caution. It rewards adaptation. The moment you realize that every failed attempt adds armor to your skill set, you stop fearing the fall. You start chasing it. You stop asking, "What if I lose?" and start asking, "How fast can I learn?" That's the real game. You're no longer afraid of mistakes. You're addicted to progress. Think of failure as controlled fire. It burns, but it also forges. Each risk refines your instincts. Each loss sharpens your pattern recognition. And eventually your ability to read chaos becomes your competitive edge. The irony? The more you fail, the less you fear. And the less you fear, the more you win. Failure builds aggression. It gives you a dangerous kind of calm, the kind that only comes from surviving collapse and realizing it didn't kill you. You walked through flames and came out steel. That's why the most dangerous man in the room is not the one who's never lost. It's the one who's lost 1,000 times and no longer cares. You can't threaten him with failure anymore. He uses it as fuel. So start taking strategic hits. Launch the project. Speak your mind. Break something and rebuild it better. Speed is your weapon. Every time you act, the universe gives you data. Hesitation gives you nothing. Here's a mindset shift. Failure is not a setback, it's acceleration. It's how you separate yourself from the cautious, the timid, the spectators. They wait for clarity. You create it through contact. When you move through life like a scientist, testing, failing, recalibrating, you're always evolving. You're building real-world intelligence, not hypothetical wisdom. And soon, you'll notice something powerful. While everyone else fears failure, you'll start fearing inaction. Because comfort will begin to feel like decay. That's when you become unstoppable. Remember, fail fast. Extract the lesson. Adapt without emotion. Repeat until mastery. The man who makes risk his engine can never truly lose. Because every failure adds fuel to his evolution. And evolution always wins in the long game. You want to win forever? Then stop treating failure like death. It's just the next level loading. 8. Build systems, not hustles. Outsource your future. Hustle is a trap disguised as progress. It feels noble, grinding, moving, sweating, chasing. But if every day depends on your hands, your energy, and your time, you're not building freedom. You're building a cage. The world glorifies the hustler, the man who never sleeps, never stops, and never delegates. But that man isn't free. He's just an efficient slave. And no matter how fast he moves, the system owns him. The goal isn't to work harder. It's to work once and earn forever. That's the real power move, to turn effort into infrastructure. Understand this. A system is a machine that multiplies your effort without your constant presence. It can be money that makes more money, content that grows while you sleep, people who execute your vision while you think. Code, automation, investments, these are systems. A hustle dies when you stop. A system lives without you. The average man trades time for money. The strategic man trades design for time. He builds frameworks that do the lifting so he can move on to the next conquest. Look at every empire, business, or movement that survived generations. They didn't rely on a single man's hustle. They relied on replicable systems. Systems don't get tired. Systems don't complain. Systems scale. That's the game the elites play. They work hard once, then they step back and let systems keep winning for them. They automate income, influence, and even identity. Their brand becomes a machine that moves with or without their daily effort. And here's the truth that breaks the hustler's ego. If your success collapses the moment you rest, you were never powerful. You were just busy. The modern world rewards the man who learns leverage. Leverage means using tools, people, and technology to extend your reach. It's not laziness, it's intelligence. It's how kings operate while workers burn out. Think of it like chess. The pawn hustles one square at a time. The queen controls the board through position. That's leverage. That's systems thinking. Building systems means asking, how can I make this work without me? How can this repeat itself, scale itself, or grow itself? Most men chase money. The wise man builds machines that chase it for him. The same applies to influence. Don't post randomly. Build content systems that feed algorithms for years. Don't work for clients forever. Build products that sell themselves. Don't chase motivation. Create routines that force execution even when you're tired. The point isn't to escape work. It's to escape fragile work, the kind that resets every morning. Systems give you compound control, the kind that multiplies, not drains. Every hour you spend building a system today buys you freedom tomorrow. Every hour you spend hustling for short-term wins only deepens your dependency. So here's the harsh truth. If you're still doing everything yourself, you're not ambitious. You're addicted to control. Because real power is letting go. Real power is trusting processes more than passion. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He said, "The wise man builds structures so strong that fortune cannot destroy them." That's what systems are. Structures immune to chaos. You can lose energy, motivation, or even people, but your system keeps running. It protects your empire while you rest, rebuild, or expand. That's how the modern warrior wins. He hustles with purpose, only long enough to create autonomy. Then he automates his empire and reclaims his time. Because the goal isn't to work harder. The goal is to become untouchable. So build systems. Replace repetition with automation. Replace burnout with leverage. Replace dependency with design. Don't just play the game, code it. That's how you hack life permanently. The hustlers will fade. The system builders will own the board. Most people spend their entire lives playing the game blind, chasing coins, obeying rules, and mistaking movement for mastery. They think effort equals progress. They think busyness equals success, but the truth is cruel. Effort without strategy is slavery. Life isn't fair because it was never meant to be. It's a simulation designed to reward awareness, not obedience. The rich, the powerful, the influential, they don't play harder. They play smarter. They see the patterns, they bend the systems, and they write the rules others follow. You can keep grinding, keep obeying, keep living as a pawn, or you can step back and start studying the board. Every emotion, every risk, every habit, every relationship, all of it is part of the algorithm. Once you understand it, you stop being controlled by it. That's the moment you become dangerous. Because when you can see the game for what it is, you can rewrite it. So build leverage, build systems, master perception. Don't live life as a player. Become the one who codes the game itself. Because life isn't about survival. It's about strategy. If this opened your eyes, leave a comment below. And if you're ready to stop playing small and start mastering the code, subscribe. The next chapter of your evolution begins here.